Then the Spirit led Yeshua up into the wilderness to be tempted by the adversary. After Yeshua had fasted 40 days and nights, he was hungry. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, order these stones to become bread." But he answered, "The Tanakh says, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Adonai. Then the adversary took him to the holy city and set him on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "jump, for the Tanakh says, he will order his angels to be responsible for you. They will support you with their hands, so that you will not hurt your feet on the stones." Yeshua replied to him, "But it also says, do not put Adonai your God to the test." Once more the adversary took him up to the summit of a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in their glory, and said to him, "All this I will give to you, if you will bow down and worship me." "Away with you, Satan," Yeshua told him, for the Tanakh says, "Worship Adonai your God, and serve only him." Then the adversary let him alone, and angels came and took care of him. The crowds heard how he taught, they were astounded. But when the Parushim learned that he had silenced the Tzedukim, they got together, and one of them, who was a Torah expert, asked a She'elah to trap him. "Rabbi, which of the mitzvot in the Torah is the most important?" He told him, "You are to love Adonai your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength. Adonai, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. This is the greatest and most important mitzvah. And a second is similar to it. You are to love your neighbor as yourself. All of the Torah and the prophets are dependent on these two mitzvot." One of the Torah teachers came up and heard them engaged in this discussion. Seeing that Yeshua answered them well, he asked him, "Which is the most important mitzvah of them all?" Yeshua answered, "The most important is, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you are to love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your understanding, and with all your strength. The second is this, you are to love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other mitzvah greater than these." The Torah teacher said to him, "Well said, Rabbi, you speak the truth when you say that he is one, and that there is no other besides him, and that loving him with all one's heart, understanding, and strength, and loving one's neighbor as oneself, mean more than all the burnt offerings and sacrifices." When Yeshua saw that he responded sensibly, he said to him, "You are not far from the kingdom of God." And after that no one dared put to him another She'elah. Then Yeshua, filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, returned from the Yarden and was led by the Spirit in the wilderness for 40 days of testing by the adversary. During that time he ate nothing, and afterwards he was hungry. The adversary said to him, "If you are the Son of God, order this stone to become bread." Yeshua answered him, "The Tanakh says, man does not live on bread alone." The adversary took him up, showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world, and said to him, "I will give you all this glory and power. It has been handed over to me, and I can give it to whomever I choose. So if you will worship me, it will all be yours." Yeshua answered him, "The Tanakh says, worship Adonai your God and serve him only." Then he took him to Yerushalayim, set him on the highest point of the temple, and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, jump from here. For the Tanakh says, he will order his angels to be responsible for you and to protect you. They will support you with their hands, so that they will not hurt your feet on the stones." Yeshua answered him, "It also says, do not put Adonai your God to the test." When the adversary had ended all his testings, he let him alone until an opportune time. An expert in Torah stood up to try and trap him by asking, "Rabbi, what should I do to obtain eternal life?" But Yeshua said to him, "What is written in the Torah? How do you read it?" He answered, "You are to love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your understanding, and your neighbor as yourself." "That's the right answer," Yeshua said. "Do this and you will have life." But he, wanting to justify himself, said to Yeshua, "And who is my neighbor?" Taking up the question, Yeshua said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him naked and beat him up, then went off, leaving him half dead. By coincidence, a Cohen was going down on that road, but when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levi who reached the place and saw him also passed by on the other side. But a man from Shamron who was traveling came upon him, and when he saw him, he was moved with compassion. So he went up to him, put oil and wine on his wounds, and bandaged them. Then he set him on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 days' wages, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Look after him, and if you spend more than this, I'll pay you back when I return.' Of these 3, which one seems to you to have become the neighbor of the man who fell among the robbers?" He answered, "The one who showed mercy toward him." Yeshua said to him, "You go and do as he did." Having set sail from Paphos, Shaul and his companions arrived at Perga in Pamphylia. There Yochanan left them and returned to Jerusalem. But the others went on from Perga to Pisidian Antioch, and on Shabbat they went into the synagogue and sat down. After the reading from the Torah and from the prophets, the synagogue leaders sent them a message. "Brothers, if any of you has a word of exhortation for the people, speak." So Shaul stood, motioned with his hand, and said, "Men of Israel and God-fearers, listen. The God of this people Israel chose our fathers. He made the people great during the time when they were living as aliens in Egypt, and with a stretched out arm he led them out of that land. For some 40 years he took care of them in the desert, and after he had destroyed 7 nations in the land of Canaan, he gave their land to his people as an inheritance. All this took about 450 years. After that he gave them judges, down to the prophet Shemuel. Then they asked for a king, and God gave them Shaul ben Kish, a man from the tribe of Benjamin. After 40 years, God removed him and raised up David as king for them, making his approval known with these words, 'I found David ben Yishai, to be a man after my own heart. He will do everything I want.' In keeping with his promise, God has brought to Israel from this man's descendants a deliverer, Yeshua. Now before the coming of Yeshua, Yochanan proclaimed to all the people of Israel an immersion in connection with turning to God from sin. But as Yochanan was ending his work, he said, 'Who do you suppose I am? Well, I'm not. But after me is coming someone, the sandals of whose feet I am unworthy to untie. Brothers, sons of Abraham, and those among you who are God-fearers, it is to us that the message of this deliverance has been sent. For the people living in Jerusalem and their leaders did not recognize who Yeshua was or understand the message of the prophets read every Shabbat, so they fulfilled that message by condemning him. They could not find any legitimate ground for a death sentence. Nevertheless, they asked Pilate to have him executed. And when they carried out all the things written about him, he was taken down from the stake and placed in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead. He appeared for many days to those who had come up with him from the Galilee to Jerusalem, and they are now his witnesses to the people. As for us, we are bringing you the good news that what God promised to the fathers, he has fulfilled for us, the children, in raising up Yeshua, as indeed it is written in the 2nd Psalm, 'You are my son, today I have become your father.' And as for his raising him up from the dead, to return to decay no more, he said, 'I will give the holy and trustworthy things of David to you.' This is explained elsewhere. 'You will not let your Holy One see decay.' For David did indeed serve God's purposes in his own generation, but after that he died, was buried with his fathers, and did see decay. However, the one God raised up did not see decay. Therefore, brothers, let it be known to you that through this man is proclaimed forgiveness of sins. That is, God clears everyone who puts his trust in this man, even in regard to all the things concerning which you could not be cleared by the Torah of Moshe. Watch out, then, so that this word found in the prophets may not happen to you. You mockers, look and marvel and die. For in your own time I am doing a work that you simply will not believe, even if someone explains it to you. As they left, the people invited Shaul and Barnabas to tell them more about these matters the following Shabbat. When the synagogue meeting broke up, many of the born Jews and devout proselytes followed Shaul and Barnabas, who spoke with them and urged them to keep holding fast to the love and kindness of God. So what room is left for boasting? None at all. What kind of Torah excludes it? One that has to do with legalistic observance of rules? No. Rather, a Torah that has to do with trusting. Therefore, we hold the view that a person comes to be considered righteous by God on the ground of trusting, which has nothing to do with legalistic observance of Torah commands. Or is God the God of the Jews only? Isn't he also the God of the Gentiles? Yes, he is indeed the God of the Gentiles, because, as you will admit, God is one. Therefore, he will consider righteous the circumcised on the ground of trusting, and the uncircumcised through that same trusting. Does it follow that we abolish Torah by this trusting? Heaven forbid. On the contrary, we confirm Torah. He wants all humanity to be delivered and come to full knowledge of the truth. For God is one, and there is but one mediator between God and humanity, Yeshua the Messiah, himself human, who gave himself as a ransom on behalf of all, thus providing testimony to God's purpose at just the right time. What good is it, my brothers, if someone claims to have faith, but has no actions to prove it? Is such faith able to save him? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food, and someone says to him, "Shalom, keep warm and eat hearty," without giving him what he needs. What good does it do? Thus, faith by itself, unaccompanied by actions, is dead. But someone will say that you have faith and I have actions. Show me this faith of yours without the actions, and I will show you my faith by my actions. You believe that God is one? Good for you. The demons believe it too. The thought makes them shudder with fear. But, foolish fellow, do you want to be shown that such faith, apart from actions, is barren? Wasn't Avraham Avinu declared righteous because of actions when he offered up his son Yitzhak on the altar? You see that his faith worked with his actions. By the actions the faith was made complete, and the passage of the Tanakh was fulfilled, which says, Abraham had faith in God, and it was credited to his account as righteousness. He was even called God's friend. You see that a person is declared righteous because of actions, and not because of faith alone. Likewise, wasn't Rechav, the prostitute, also declared righteous because of actions, when she welcomed the messengers and sent them out by another route? Indeed, just as the body without spirit is dead. Indeed, just as the body without a spirit is dead, so too faith without actions is dead.